Welcome to Eagle News. Today we will talk about the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried is the culmination of an epic saga. The former billionaire was imprisoned for fraud after quickly gaining political and humanitarian clout. Sam Bankman-Fried was the boy wonder face of crypto as recently as the summer of 2022, a 30-year-old who built one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, a famed philanthropist worth an estimated $16 billion, and a major Democratic fundraiser who immediately gained favor in Washington. By early November, he was at the epicenter of an immense firestorm that had destroyed both his enterprise and his image as an uncannily brilliant, humanitarian billionaire. Bankman-Fried was detained in the Bahamas in December and charged with wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering, among other things. He has since been extradited to the United States and released on a $250 million bond, the largest ever pre-trial bond, according to Reuters. There is no specific trial date, but it is scheduled to take place in the Southern District of New York. Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang, two former top executives at Bankman Enterprises, Frieds have pleaded guilty to various fraud crimes and are collaborating with federal investigators. Bankman-Fried, Ellison, and Wang have also been accused separately by the Securities and Exchange Commission with defrauding FTX investors. The story of Bankman-Fried may go down as one of the most shocking in the annals of crypto catastrophes. He resigned from his crypto exchange, FTX, after it collapsed due to a domino effect of customers attempting to withdraw their monies, and the company declared bankruptcy. According to the Wall Street Journal, Bankman-Fried may have illegally misappropriated approximately $10 billion in FTX customer funds for his trading firm, Alameda Research, whose future is now in jeopardy. And Bankman-Fried is now practically worthless. The collapse of FTX is not a normal story of cryptocurrency volatility or investor risk-taking. It collapsed not because of bad luck, but because of what now looks to be unsustainable levels of deception. On the surface, FTX appeared to be thriving. It had made many high-profile acquisitions and bailed out other failed crypto firms in the previous year. It was actually drowning in debt. According to reports, at least $1 billion in client funds has gone missing. The astonishing disparity between appearance and reality has resulted in Bankman reputation Fried's plummeting faster than any in recent memory. The Justice Department and the Securities and Exchange Commission began investigating FTX shortly after its collapse, and his friends and fans in crypto, philanthropic, and political circles have quickly distanced themselves from the man commonly considered the king of crypto. According to a top Democratic strategist who spoke on the condition of anonymity to protect their clients, legislators who received donations from Bankman-Fried, who spent roughly $40 million during the midterm election cycle, are considering returning the money. Some members of Congress, including Senators Dick Durbin, D. Eel, and Kirsten Gillibrand, DNY, have stated that they intend to donate Bankman contributions Fried's to charity. In the previous year, Bankman-Fried rose to attention as a model of how the ultra-rich, with seemingly limitless riches, may utilize it for good. He's been the focus of numerous profiles, and he graced the cover of Fortune magazine's September issue. The media depicted him as an unpretentious, nerdy savant, praising his down-to-earth demeanor, his unruly mop of hair, his preference for t-shirts and shorts, and his Toyota Corolla. Investors liked the fact that he wasn't a stuffy entrepreneur. He played computer games during pitch meetings, and his peculiarities, like those of other modern-day founders, were interpreted as proof of his singular genius. On November 10, Bankman-Fried issued a public apology. "I screwed up and should have done better," he tweeted. "I should have communicated more recently as well." He cited poor internal labeling of bank-related accounts as one of the reasons FTX didn't have the liquidity to refund clients' money. Meanwhile, Bankman-Fried came out as a millionaire who was unimpressed by the glamour and pomp of a conventional billionaire's lifestyle. The FTX Foundation, Bankman Charitable Fried's arm, claims to have donated more than $190 million to date. Disclosure: in August, Bankman Family Fried's organization, Building a Stronger Future, granted a grant to Vox's Future Perfect for a 2023 reporting project. That project has been put on hold. "It's difficult to spend more than millions of dollars on yourself in an effective way, even if you wanted to," he told Yahoo Finance earlier this year. "And I believe that's why we see super yachts, because a lot of people can't think of anything else to do with their money." But Bankman-Fried appeared to have worked it out. Part of what made his downfall so shocking is that he had established a data and evidence-based plan for how to give away his money. Bankman-Fried is a political megadonor, after all. What exactly is he if not a philanthropist and a billionaire? Who had he been all along? Part 1. Bankman Earnings, Frieds and Spending Habits. Banker Fried traveled to Wall Street in order to make as much money as possible. That's not really noteworthy. What distinguished him was how swiftly and successfully he translated his intentions into reality. He majored in physics at MIT before being encouraged by effective altruism leader and Oxford philosopher Will MacAskill to work for a trading firm where he could earn a lot more money, a lot faster, presumably with the goal of eventually giving it away almost as swiftly. The effective altruism movement seeks to utilize data and logic to discover the most effective ways to accomplish good in the world. When it comes to charity giving, effective altruists frequently prioritize causes that they see as essential, tractable, and underserved, places where a small amount of funds could have a large influence. Some effective altruists also believe in earning to give, choosing a lucrative sector over a low-paying one in order to give more money away. If your goal is to donate, you should make as much as you can and give as much as you can, Bankman-Fried told Recode last year. To put it another way, the ends justify the methods. If the math shows that it is far better to be an investment banker than to work for a nonprofit, that is what you should do. In recent days, key figures in the effective altruism community, including MacAskill and Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovitz, who is a major backer of the EA-aligned nonprofit Open Philanthropy, have also spoken out against such utilitarian thinking. Bankman-Fried began his Wall Street job at the age of 21 in 2013. He made his fortune through cryptocurrency arbitrage, which involves purchasing coins at a lower price on one crypto exchange and quickly selling them at a greater price on another. He persuaded a few other effective altruist pals to join him in this arbitrage concept, and Alameda Research was born. By 2019, it was profitable enough for Bankman-Fried to create his own cryptocurrency exchange, FTX. Part of what drew investors to FTX was that it allowed riskier transactions than other exchanges. It allowed customers to make highly leveraged bets, at least until 2021, when it restricted the amount of leverage it provided clients. Bankman-Fried was instantly dubbed a brilliant crypto disruptor. He was valued $22.5 billion that year, at the age of 29. Though 2022 was a tumultuous year for crypto, Bankman-Fried not only appeared uninjured, but also positioned to save the industry from collapsing. He positioned himself as a model for other businesses. He extended a $250 million line of credit to the crypto lender BlockFi and bailed out the bankrupt crypto broker Voyager Digital. This year, he also founded FTX Ventures, a venture fund with around $2 billion in assets. Bankman-Fried appeared to be coming out of the crypto winter stronger than his competitors, primarily by turning someone else's misfortune into his chance. Bankman-Fried appeared to be firmly established on the throne of power. In June, he signed the Giving Pledge, joining other billionaire mega-philanthropists such as Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Mackenzie Scott in pledging to give away at least half of his fortune. I felt convinced a while ago that our duty was to do everything we could for the long-run aggregate utility of the globe, Bankman-Fried stated in his pledge letter. In some senses, signing this commitment was a reiteration of his previous promise to give away 99% of his fortune. He established the FTX Foundation in February 2021, which supported issues such as animal welfare and battling global poverty, as well as funding research and projects that would better humanity's long-term prospects through the Foundation's Future Fund. Due to the failure of FTX, all members of the Future Fund resigned on November 10. He was also making ripples in the political realm at the age of 30. Bankman-Fried was the sixth greatest individual donor overall for the 2022 midterm cycle, providing about $40 million to various candidates and POCs, including a $1 million donation to Beto O'Rourke's Lost Texas governor campaign. One of Bankman-Fried's goals was to increase political involvement in pandemic preparedness. He spent millions supporting effective altruist Carrick Flynn's congressional campaign, whose platform emphasized pandemic prevention. Flynn lost his primary battle. In summary, Bankman-Fried had been constructing a legitimate political machine, paying employees to advise him on his varied interests, which included cryptocurrency regulation. He was also a media patron, investing in the new news site Semaphore and providing funding to other newspapers. He served as the primary interface between Congress and the White House on crypto policy, even testifying before Congress this year. In August, he told the Los Angeles Times that he was spending a lot of time talking with colleagues about what positive things on crypto policy would be and about what can be done to offer federal control of it. Critics and doubters argued that Bankman-Fried's in Congress was more about guaranteeing crypto would be overseen by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission rather than the Securities and Exchange Commission, because the CFTC is considered as the weaker of the two. Bankman-Fried appeared to be prepared to spend even more money in Washington and the media. He proposed spending up to $1 billion on politics in 2024 if it meant defeating Donald Trump earlier this year. He also texted Elon Musk this spring, expressing his willingness to invest billions to participate in the Twitter acquisition. In retrospect, there could have been warning indications. Bankman-Fried abruptly reversed his intention to spend so much money on politics in the coming years, calling the $1 billion number a stupid remark on his part. He didn't spend much money in the run-up to the midterm elections, claiming that primaries are more important. At the same time, Democrats warned that a lack of funding in the last weeks of the election cycle could endanger their chances of regaining control of the House. Part 2: What a crypto billionaire's demise tells about the scrutiny of the ultra-rich. It's not every day that a billionaire loses everything, that dishonor belongs to a small and illustrious circle that includes Elizabeth Holmes, Bernie Madoff, and Archegos founder and investor Bill Huang, and it's even more unusual for a renowned philanthropist and political megadonor's wealth to collapse like a house of cards. Given the breadth of Bankman influence, Fried's demise has generated consternation in a number of circles. Customers of FTX were largely individual traders, and several now feel they've lost their whole life savings. The decline of FTX has harmed the stability of the broader crypto market, and the price of Bitcoin, the world's most valuable digital currency, has plummeted. The FTX Future Fund has stated that it will most likely be unable to honor all of its recipient promises, and Bankman-Fried's collapse may generate further ripples in philanthropy. The effective altruism group Open Philanthropy has already stated that the closure of the FTX Foundation will have an impact on its grant-making strategy. Bankman-Fried had dedicated 99% of his money for the public benefit, and now it's all gone. If the claim that FTX utilized $10 billion in client cash to assist Alameda Research is true, Bankman-Fried might face jail time, according to John Reed Stark, a former SEC enforcement attorney and cybersecurity law specialist. If these facts are real, and someone came to me as a client and said, "Here's what I did, I plundered my consumers to benefit myself," that's pretty severe. It goes much beyond securities fraud. Stark compared any potential crime to that of Holmes, who misled investors, or financier Madoff, the mastermind behind the largest Ponzi scheme in history. This is worse, in my opinion, since there is a retail investment component to this saga. Bankman-Fried and his firms were based in the Bahamas, but taking things that isn't yours is going to be illegal, no matter where you are, Stark said. The fact that a single person's financial downfall affects so many people in several businesses demonstrates the degree of influence that billionaires wield. It also demonstrates why such influence requires careful consideration. How much weight should we place on a sales pitch? Bankman-Fried has defended the cryptocurrency business, specifically his exchange, against the idea that it is riddled with scams and danger. He claims that FTX operates an honest market, conducts background checks on consumers, purchases carbon credits to offset its emissions, and is more efficient than the mainstream financial sector. However, it's evident that the major draw for him is getting rich quickly, Bloomberg's Zeke Foe wrote in an April feature. When concerns regarding FTX began to emerge, Bankman-Fried may not have been transparent. Bankman-Fried tweeted that everything was all right on November 7, before the extent of FTX's financial turmoil became clear. "Assets are satisfactory," he wrote. "FTX has sufficient funds to cover all customer holdings. We don't invest client assets, even treasuries," he stated in another email. However, it now appears that this was not the case. He later deleted those tweets. Following the implosion of FTX, Bankman-Fried disclosed a cynical view of ethics in a Twitter DM chat with Future Perfect writer Kelsey Piper, which seemed to contradict the more nuanced ideas of right and wrong he'd stated previously in the press. "Am any of the stupid shit I said," he wrote. It's not true, it really isn't. According to him, a person's virtue is mostly determined by perception, which is as much about whether someone is perceived as a winner or a loser as it is about really performing virtuously. Everyone walks around believing that perception matches reality, he wrote candidly, at times shockingly. No, it doesn't. Some of this decade's greatest heroes will go unnoticed, while some of its most popular figures are essentially shams.